went to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in August 2003 as a Minister of Government in Trinidad and Tobago, a PNM Minister, and told him that there was bid rigging taking place in Udicott. What the Commission of Inquiry is looking at is 10 times worse than what happened with Piako Airport. And it's even more brazen. If this country cannot call to order its Prime Minister and his cabinet and his political party to say we are not accepting that, then God help us.
With the two largest political parties expected to spend close to $300 million on this election campaign, it's raised the issue of campaign financing. In April, the Indo-Trinbago Equality Council had written to the Elections and Boundaries Commission raising concerns about the use of government advertising as a guise for in fact promoting the PNM. It's an issue ITEC believes places any opposition party at a disadvantage and is inimical to free and fair elections. However, the EBC says it can do little about campaign financing. In a response, the EBC says the Representation of the People Act, Chapter 2, as it stands, does not contain any provisions which deal with such an activity. ITEC felt that prior to the announcement of the general election, the PNM had begun an intense advertising campaign through Hype, Must, CPEP and Smart Card along with Vision 2020. But according to the EBC, the provisions dealing with advertisements under the heading of election expenses are specifically aimed at the expenses incurred with a view to procuring the election of a candidate. To change this law, however, would require special provisions to deal with the equitable distribution of financial resources for campaign financing, possibly through a combination of public funding and strict expenditure controls. The EBC says its authority is severely circumscribed and limited to administrative matters in the conduct of elections. For CNC3, I'm Kamal Georges.
Mr. Speaker, I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control. Completely out of control, Mr. Speaker. That is what I see. And that problem is not a new problem to me, you know. I was aware of the tendency for the Honorable to go out of control since 1987. Argue your case. Everybody has a chance to do it. But not like my good friend. The minute you oppose my good friend, Mr. Speaker, the minute you oppose my good friend, he gets very, very angry. And if you oppose him strongly, Mr. Speaker, he becomes a raging bull. And that is what this government is not prepared to act. That is what it was. We just were not prepared to accept that.